Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Camel Chat. I'm so excited. The reason I'm excited, do you remember Gilligan's Island, right? And, you know, all these like stowaways and other famous people got stuck on a desert island and they had to have fun and invent, entertainment and food. You know, I sit back and this person I'm going to talk to today, Nicole Clarke, who is the co-founder, super guru of Shazam, which are world famous recruitment websites. She is a person that known her for 2 years. If I was on Gilligan's Island, she would be the Mary Ann type person I'd want there with me. Because one, she's entertaining, she's smart, she's gorgeous, right? She's talented, she knows about food, but she's also a brilliant, powerful businesswoman, should be an Avenger, wear a cape, all that sort of stuff, knows the recruitment business like the back of her hand, but she also knows about antiques, fine wines, great food, and she loves Frankston, which is another one of my favorite places in the world in Australia. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed, privileged, and honored to share 1 hour with the beautiful Nicole, who's incredibly smart, and we're going to learn about her. We're going to learn about Shazam, and we'll probably pick up some business ideas and tips when the chips are down or when you're doing really well. So, Nicole Clarke, welcome to a Camel Chat.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. I would love to be on an island right now. Drinking cocktails would be fantastic.
Don't you think that'd be fun?
It would be fun.
And I think of all the people in the world I've met, and I wonder, who would I like to be stuck on a desert? You'd be fun. You would be awesome.
I'd be fun. Yeah, I'd be fun.
You'd be fun.
Yeah, we'd be fermenting coconuts and having some fun, I'm sure. And I do have a cape. If you're very lucky, I will grab it later and show you.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to start off with my first favorite question, which is, I used to call it puberty and pimples, right? But I've decided I might give that one a miss on some of them. But what I want to know is, if you went to a party and you just, nobody there, and they go, oh, g'day, what's your life story? All right. What I want to know is, in a 5-minute elevator pitch, the Nicole Clarke early days story from birth onwards, nothing to do with work, where you're educated, a little bit about mum and dad, all that sort of stuff. So what's the Nicole life story for the first part of her life?
Wow, 5 minutes. Gee, I think I probably need a couch. No, so born in Sydney, Australia. Went to Ravenswood. I'm an only child, which probably talks to my attitude problem. And grew up in a household or a family full of salespeople. So my grandpa was in sales, my dad was in sales, my mom was in sales, the whole family of salespeople. So as an only child, I grew up as a small child going to restaurants while business deals were done. And it was back in the good old days where things were very different than what they are now. And business was done over a dinner or a lunch, and you were there probably for 8 hours until you left and went home. Normally with your parents driving home after a couple of drinks where they probably shouldn't have been driving. But that's okay. So from Sydney, Australia, my dad set up businesses in the US. And so I moved to, where was I? In Connecticut. And I was there for about 2 years while he was setting up businesses over there. That was around the age of 10 to 12. When we came back, my parents separated and mum and I moved to Queensland. And most of my family had also moved up there. So that was good to have the whole family up there. And went to school at Somerset College on the Gold Coast. And did some work. My mum was managing resorts, timeshare resorts on the Gold Coast. And I did part-time activities director, where I'd get to organize all the cocktail parties and sample the champagne I'd ordered. And I did all the beach volleyball and all the entertaining fun stuff. Then I decided that I didn't like school so much, and I was about 17. So I decided I was going to go and do some work. So that was back in the day when you actually applied for a job by the old fax machine. So I may have lied about my age to get a job up in Cape Tribulation, which I thought was going to be a ball. It was going to be great fun. I thought it was Cairns. But needless to say, got the job via fax with your photo and a bit of a bio of what you'd done. I got out of the plane in Cairns, jumped on a 4-wheel drive bus and started hurtling through off on this dirt road to this place that I thought, where am I going? And next thing, I'm in the Daintree.
My
and
God.
I was like, what am I doing here? And you know, I'm a little bit prudish, like I had that stage, or even apart from Amsterdam. Went back to school, went to Benoa High School, then started doing radio announcing, and decided I'd go to uni and do communications and journalism. So read the news on a radio station for a while on the Gold Coast, and got to do lots of fun things, interview the IndyCar drivers and footballers and all sorts of cool stuff. Until then, at 21, I bought my first house in Broadbeach Waters. I was working at the casino as a croupier while I was also doing some external study. Taught me a lot of life lessons working at the casino, drunken people, losing money. My nickname was the Smiling Assassin. It would always go and talk to Nicole, but do not play on her table. Go and say hi, but don't play. She's an assassin. And then, I was with someone for a very long time, and we broke up, and a girlfriend and I decided that we didn't want to be on the Gold Coast anymore. There was no opportunities. And we packed up a van and we did a Thelma and Louise and moved from the Gold Coast to Melbourne, where I stayed, and she left because she hated the weather. And I've been in Melbourne ever since.
One of the things I love about you, Nicole, is you've been there, done that, similar to myself, right? You didn't get into one particular industry, and this is what makes you different. And you learn that when we do this sort of stuff, and the people we deal with, the real legends, the ones that are good, have done so many different things. You know, like when you talked about your mum and your dad and they were entertainers and salesmen. I know my own dad, he was a truck driver, but he was also a JP. He also worked in the family law court every Wednesday. He was really active in Freemasons and local government. And at 13, he used to take me to all these dinners. And I'd be sitting there with the mayor of Footscray and having a chat with him. Yeah. So it was just natural for me to have a conversation and build rapport from 13, because Dad put me in that situation because Mum was a drunk and he didn't want to have her there, you know? Really funny. So this is all really good, Nicole. So I understand a lot about you, but now let's get to that business side, right? What made you say, hey, I reckon Shazami would be a really good thing for the recruitment game? What was the driver for you to do that?
Yeah. So I've done a lot of different things in businesses in my life, from selling products at markets through to when I had my daughter, starting an antique shop with my mum while I was still working in a company that did recruitment website technology, and very yin and yang, those two products. And I'd been working in a prior company doing a similar thing to what I do now. However, the technology had gotten old. We were reporting to a board of directors that just didn't get what we did and why we needed investment to make our tech stack better for the industry. I knew and know the recruitment, staffing and talent or careers sector like intimately. Like I love it. It's a passion for me, and I love helping people be more successful. But I was being hamstrung by this clunky old technology that just would no longer support what's needed in today's age. So for quite a couple of years, I'd been thinking, you know, surely we can do this so much better. We've got a board that doesn't want to invest in technology. You know, this is crazy. Why are we still selling something that's not up to standard? So there was a few things went on in the background in regards to the board and the company I was at, which I was a shareholder. and I'd worked my backside off for 12 years. Like, that company was my own. People thought that it was my own. It got put into voluntary administration by one of the boards of directors, who really didn't want to invest in it, just wanted it to turn a profit, couldn't understand it. And that was at around Christmas time. And then we got purchased by a company that's also in the industry. And there was opportunities with that company where I was ready to be committed to get into that and start, with them and really move things along. But I wanted some skin in the game. Like, I wasn't going to work my ring off like this again without knowing I was going to turn around and walk out of it at retirement or whenever, with my hard work now being recognized. And it became clear that that wasn't going to be the way that this was going to go. And so with my co-founder, Rick, we sat down and we caught up and we said, can we do this better? Is this something that we should go out and start again and start with a fresh sheet of paper and a new set of eyes and create something amazing? We know that this industry has such a requirement for something that's going to solve their website issues, and we need something easy, drag and drop, easy to use. And so, that's where it all started. And it was scary. It really was scary. I've got properties that I have to pay bills on. I've got child in private school. I've got a lot of overheads, and walking away from a huge wage to start from nothing with no income was really scary.
It is scary.
So I took the jump and we started with Shazami. Luckily, over the past 12 years, I've built a lot of relationships in the specific industry I was in, a lot of people that were willing to support and help us get where we were headed, and a lot of old clients that loved working with us personally and that helped us out and got those first few clients on the board. And here we are today. So
awesome.
That's where it came out of.
Okay, so let's narrow that down a bit. So you got this going and you risked your life, limb, right? Had to give up. I know what it was like. I was on a mega salary when I started, and I was flying first class, staying in suites, having a good time, and then I just spat it and said enough. And I was the same. I'm not going to do anything anymore unless I got the skin in the game. But hello, you got to pay for everything, and that's a bit of a shock. I started living in 3-star hotels and flying in the back of the plane. It was hard.
Yeah. Tough.
So it's a recruitment agency specific website builder. So let's say you're out there in the world and you're talking to these recruitment agencies. What are the 2 things you find they do wrong when it comes to websites?
Yeah, so the recruitment industry is a very unique industry. It's extremely clicky. There's a lot of moving components. It's not like building a traditional website. There's a lot of integration requirements with back-end platforms that all need to talk to each other and then be pushed and pulled data in and out and all the rest. So it is quite a complex industry. So the things that we often see, we see people in the recruitment industry and even in corporate career sites, we can do career sites for large employers as well, is they will get a traditional marketing agency to build them a website.
Right.
They don't understand recruitment. So straight away, opportunities are missed. From a foundational level, SEO piece is the most important one, that the website is structured. Recruiters have 2 unique audiences, sometimes 3. The person looking for a job is one. The person looking for a recruiter to find them staff is another. And then they might also want to recruit internally. And there's a way that you need to talk about that within a website that no one gets. And each of those industry sectors, so if you're talking about a company that recruits for sales people, you need a sales jobs page. And on that page should be jobs that are pulling directly from their ATS platform. The recruiters that they can talk to should be on that page. So you build out these ecosystems that take on their own form in SEO and also candidate and client experience. So that's one thing we see is no one really gets that and can do that properly without, input. And even some of the world's largest recruitment agencies don't get that, and we're constantly educating that. So that'll be one. The second that we see is often people will use WordPress platforms for their recruitment websites. WordPress itself, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with the platform. It's a good platform. The issue is where you start putting these widgets or plugins, and that then opens up gateways that can offer security issues and things like that. The people that we're talking about, they don't understand technology.
No.
So they don't know that these widgets are potentially problematic and could expose their data and things like that, and could be quite risky. So I think cumbersome old technology that they're sitting on and they're just putting up with because they know no other way.
Yep.
They're all things that we regularly see with clients. There's lots of others, but the jobs should be sitting on the client's URL. They shouldn't link out to an external jobs.domain to see jobs and things like that. So it's all around the foundational piece is normally what we're looking at for clients.
Okay, so you're saying that a recruitment agency that all of a sudden they've decided our website's a dog, we need to look at something else. The biggest mistake they can make is they go to Harry Clegg website.com and they think, oh, he can do it, right? It might cost us a couple of grand, whatever. But it's a real, hang on a minute, guys. We've been in this business a long time on both sides of the fence. We recruit and we're recruiting, all right? And we know what we're talking about. Do you still get a lot of flack, though, on that, where people go, oh, yeah, same story. We hear that from everyone else. Everyone's a bloody expert. Or do the recruitment agencies go, shit, I never thought about it that way?
Yeah, it's definitely the second. I look at, on occasion, we get people that go, oh, my brother can build me. He's the old, my brother, my uncle, my best friend's son, whatever. And, sometimes you need to also, and it's something I've learned with experience in business, sometimes you need to just go, I cannot help this person. And I need to just let this go because there's just no point. However, I must say the audience in today's age is a lot more sophisticated, especially in this industry. They know what they need often. They just don't know how to get there, and they don't have the technology to support them. So traditionally, after I have a meeting with somebody, talk them through the opportunities, because I can the cool thing with it is I can look at their brand and analyze it in a couple of minutes and go, these are your gaps, these are your holes, this is what needs to be fixed, this is how we fix it and how easy it is. And they go, oh my gosh, is this possible? I think, of people that we meet with, our close rate's over 85% of people that want it. That's awesome. It's solving so many problems that are out there currently today.
So the website obviously is, I call it like 80-20, right? It's basically, and you know me, I like customer attraction programs. I don't like websites, all right? And to me, a website it's got to be designed not as an art gallery, not as Wikipedia, but a booking and buying machine. In your case, it's the same thing, but in recruitment agency jargon. But what are the other things that, when we talk about value-added services, right? You've got this dynamic, unbelievable, industry-specific thing that can bring customers in, can educate people that want to get recruited, does all that marvelous stuff. Lots of applications and plugins and all that. What are the other things that are important now that you say you should be really looking at, like Facebook or Instagram? TikTok now is bloody huge, right? How do you advise them on that stuff, or do you send them somewhere else? I wouldn't know about that.
So we're a technology platform. We're not a marketing agency. However, we're always offering advice to clients based on what we see in the industry that's working. So the first thing we always talk about is, if you don't have a solid foundation in place for your recruitment brand, do not do another thing. Stop spending money on SEO. Stop spending money on other fandangled technology. If you don't have a destination where people can come to and it's solid and can support all of that exterior stuff, give it a miss, because you're just pushing money up a hill. You know,
You actually say that to them?
totally. Yeah,
Wow.
totally. Like I've got clients that were spending $5,000 a month on search engine optimization, and they had a website that wasn't even set up with the fundamentals that recruitment agencies need to have SEO. Like the job ads should be the premium source of SEO on a recruitment website, and a lot of times they're not. And that's like, it should be like writing a new blog article every time you post a new job ad, saying to the search engines, hey, we're relevant for this job, hey, we're relevant for that. But it's not. So I will say to them, do not, you know, like seriously, you're wasting your money. Like you don't have the fundamentals. So a lot of times they go, I totally get it. You know, we're spending money trying to optimize for sales jobs, and what we've got on our website is sales. What does that mean to a search engine?
Yeah.
You know, so we go through those conversations. Sometimes that's a really hard one to have because the marketing person has been working really hard at this brand and just doesn't get it because they don't come from the industry. So they don't understand the opportunities and the silos and the technology that can support that. And the complexity is the integrations with their back-end database platforms. We need to receive all of that data and then push the applications back in. So it's not like just building a website. There is a lot more to it. But then from there, we say to them, okay, now you start using your website as a destination and a tool to convert, you know, creating landing pages.
Yeah.
Built for purpose, co-brand with your employer, rather than always asking people to apply for a job in, you know, a very hard to fill candidate market at the moment. Ask them to register their interest because not everyone's ready to hit the apply button right now. You need to tease them in and sell to them. Recruitment is marketing. Yeah. You no longer can you just have a website and expect it just to work. You need to go to your employers that are using your services for recruitment and say, hey, we're going to do something different. We believe recruitment is marketing. We're going to co-brand a landing page, all the EVP of the client or your value proposition, employer value proposition into a page to increase conversion rate. So all those sorts of things. Then we talk about chatbots. Certain, you know, percentage of the audience are going to want instant chat support. We ourselves have put 24/7 chat support on our platform so that clients no longer lodge a ticket and sit back waiting. It's all instant feedback. But, you know, social media, you know, there's free tools out there. Get yourself on Google Business. If you're not on there, it's free. You should be posting to it like you post to LinkedIn. So there's a lot of things around, you know, our clients don't own LinkedIn. Why do you only use that as a channel to attract people to your brand? You need to manage your own brand. So there's some of the things.
It's funny. LinkedIn to me is almost like a brag page. I've never got LinkedIn. Like the Camel, we love Facebook, right? Because it's been very, very good to us. LinkedIn, it's a brag thing, but TikTok, right? It's funny because the Camel is cheeky and it's lively, and you know the videos we do. TikTok's been really good to us. Sounds dumb, you know, because you're sort of like you envisage that with, you know, young people and all that, but it's really starting to grow. But when you talked about basically telling people stop, get the foundation right, you reminded me like people that want to drive fast in motor cars. They will put zillions of dollars into an engine, put superchargers, turbochargers, this, but they won't fix the brakes. They don't adjust the suspension. You know, it's like you can get a 300 horsepower Porsche and it will eat a 700 horsepower car because it handles like a charm. So what you're saying is you're going to come in there and say, forget about the engine, mate, right? What we're going to do is get the foundation of the whole thing right. Suspension, brakes, steering, and you're going to put a nice stereo on there as well so you can listen to it, right? But it's a little bit different. I actually like that, and it's a bit of a ballsy effort in a way because marketing will come after you, but you're telling the truth. You know, I wrote a blog recently about the fact of people put so much emphasis on the holy grail of the front page of Google and spend all their time and effort on that, not realizing that the first 6 or 7 of them are paid to get there. And the rest of them doesn't matter. Get everything else right. Get your marketing right. Get your relationships right. And that's why I always ask this question. Imagine there was a typhoon on internet, a tsunami, and none of it was around anymore except the website part. We've got to have that. But Facebook is gone. Instagram, LinkedIn, thank you very much, right? Although I don't want to get sued by LinkedIn, right? TikTok. Do you remember those old days when you actually had to go out? Even the fax machine, I'm going to take that one off for you, right? How would these people build their business? How will they get them to go to that website? Because that's the only thing they got left, right?
Yeah.
What do you advise?
Look, for me, I'm very much relationship driven. So I'm a communication person. So I'm all about getting people together and educating and picking up the phone and speaking to people. That would be my first avenue, most definitely. If we've still got a website, but we've got no internet, I mean, I suppose, do we have internet? Can people go to Google?
Google and that have been knocked out, right? They are,
okay.
like, you know, in Florida, only one town got hit.
Yeah.
The rest of it got wet.
Yeah.
Right? So in this case, the typhoon rocks on through, but it only hits Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The rest of it survives. But you've got to feed that machine.
Yeah.
How do you feed it?
Yeah. So if you've got a website, if we've still got email marketing and things like that, I would be, doing email marketing to people to solve problems. If their websites are still existing, I don't know how people are actually going to end up finding them unless you send them the link. So I think you'd have to go back to old school communication methods and email marketing and
what about
messaging.
Networking?
Of course, yeah, the social networking, events, education. Totally. It's communication 101. Pick up the phone, meet with people. Yeah, old school.
I made so much money at a lunchtime at the pub.
Yeah.
Do you remember those days?
Oh, totally. And we still do it now. Like
happy hour.
Events. Yeah.
My business card was a weapon. You said that you were the weapon and, the what were you called? The hitman or mercenary?
The smiling assassin.
Smiling assassin, right? My business card, I was a smiling assassin, right? I'd kill people. But, the funny part about it, Nicole, it's like these people, when you're talking to them and you're going in and say, forget about your SEO for a minute, they don't get it because they've been so conditioned by their marketing departments and by the application providers. No, you need all this.
Yeah.
But they miss out on the engine, which is what you're providing, but they also have lost this skill set that you got to feed these machines. Like we talk to people about DIY. And they go, well, we want to spend 10 grand and build a DIY website. I say, well, that's fine. But how are you going to feed the machine?
Yeah.
Right? How are you going to make sure that people get in there? Any business, right? Your butcher, baker, candlestick maker. I'm going to put up my shingle and I'm going to open a Facebook page and magically people are going to turn up. No, they're not.
Yeah.
How are you going to find them? And it's funny when you ask that tsunami question, people struggle to answer it.
Yeah.
In this day and age. And they're the gurus. They're the champions. They're the ones that are flying at the front of the airplane that have got that experience to be able to turn around and go, well, I'd start networking. I'd hit the pubs and I'd start handing out business cards and I'd do email marketing. Yeah, but what would you put in it? Right. But I think, and what I'm seeing a lot in this industry the last 2 years because of COVID, it's changed. People now, when it comes to a website, they're spending more money. They're looking at how can I make this a booking buying machine? How can I not make a pretty pictures? Because every graphic designer wants to make it a bloody work of art, right? But what they should be doing is also designing it around their customers, which is what you do. All right, got another couple of questions for you off left field.
Yeah.
You're an experienced person, bloody legend, right? You've never been arrested, which is good, right?
How do you know that?
I'm guessing, right? Well, I mean, I told you our last guest, right? She was really lucky. She was working for a company that got busted by the FBI. And the only reason she didn't get arrested was she wasn't very good. So she'd never been paid.
I love it.
Oh, it was so funny. She made me laugh so much. Okay, so you've got a daughter. How old's your daughter?
12.
Okay, 12, perfect age. All right. And she goes to a private school. One day you go to pick her up and they're having a general assembly. Right?
Yep.
And they see Nicole, Miss Bubbly, walk in and they go, oh, we need some encouragement for these 12-year-old kids. Right? So, oh, Nicole, could you please get up on stage just and have a chat to 50 students who are 12 years of age, and we want you to give them a direction in life. We want you to share with them the two most important things for them to be successful in life. What would you share?
Oh, wow. Okay. I think that and funnily, I did have this conversation the other day, I think that, especially I think COVID's taught us something, is we need to be kind. We don't know the struggles that other people are going through on a day-to-day basis. And we are all super critical. People have become very critical of each other. And I think we need to stand back and try to sort of understand that people are going through all sorts of struggles that we don't understand, and try to bring that into our business dealings as well as our day-to-day dealings. I think that's really important. That would be the first thing. And the other one's probably quite, close to that as well, is one thing I've learned, especially the industry I'm in, is extremely cliquey.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to buy you, who you're going to buy, who tomorrow you're going to end up working with, or someone who was a competitor, you're going to end up partners. You need to be careful who you step on the way up the ladder, because you potentially may need to work with them, or you may need them in some way, shape, or form down the track. So I think they're, two things that I think,
Okay. Be nice.
Don't burn your bridges.
And never burn bridges. I had one quick story years and years and years ago. I won't name the company. I was in Malaysia. I was CEO of a company, and we purchased a pretty big network of a company, and it didn't work as promised. And their major account executive, they flew in from overseas, and I hammered this guy. I ripped him a new one. I tell you, it was shocking. I really lost it with him because he lost us a lot as well.
Yep.
Anyway, 10 years later, 10 years, I was introduced to somebody who was going to be extremely beneficial and important to a deal I was doing. And who was it?
Oh, dear.
The guy I ripped a new one. I didn't win that deal, right? And he was a smiling assassin, right? And I learned, you're better off just walking away nicely. Say, hey, we can't make this happen. I still love you. Anytime in the future you need help, it's okay. The moment it's going to come back and bite you on the bum.
Yep.
So I have to agree with it. And funny, a 12-year-old wouldn't think that way.
No.
I think, oh, I can say something nasty to it, doesn't matter. Or I can put something bad on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and no one will care. But look at the world today.
Yeah.
We're getting hammered for things, Lang Hancock, right? On the volleyball, right? Netball. Yep. Something he said 40 years ago, his daughter's now paying for.
Yeah.
So you do have to be careful, right?
Yeah.
So you shared good news when it comes to Shazami, right? Is it Shazami or Shazam?
Shazami.
Shazami. Where'd you get the name from?
Well, this is a story in its own as well.
It's a good story though.
We wanted something like boom, bang, ta-da, presto, and it was like Shazam, and then it was like, well, we can't do Shazam because there is a Shazam, Shazami. And we probably about, I don't even know, it was about 3 months we'd put the trademark in for Shazami, and next thing we got letters from Apple and DC Comics.
Kidding. Boom.
And here I was, trying to start this business, doing the sales, doing the marketing, doing everything. And I've just gone, oh no, like if you're going to be hit up by anyone, they're not, we probably should frame the letters because it's quite amusing now, but it wasn't then. It was devastating. I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to change the brand. My father deals a lot in trademarks, and he basically said to me, walk away. It's just not a battle worth fighting. Funnily enough, my co-founder, Rick, he literally dealt with them all himself. We didn't get a legal team involved at all. He dealt with the lawyers from the trademark for each of those companies. And they ended up settling, as you can see, sort of behind, Sha is pink and Zammy is green. It used to be Shazam was one color and me was another. So we registered the trademark in black, and we just said that we would never do Shazam me anymore. And we got to keep the name.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
wow.
It was a bit of a headache that whole time. It was not a nice, 3 so months while we were negotiating all of that.
I've never had a cigarette company come after me yet. All right, and my story on the camel, because everyone asked that as well. Why did I choose the camel? I had a deal. I lost it. I lost money. I was depressed. One of my besties, Helen Lyon, called me up, said, what's wrong, mate? I said, I'm having the worst day of my life. It's fair income, the day, straw that broke the camel's back. Now, her being an Aussie and a super switched on woman turned around and said, what a great name for a business, Hodgie. Why don't you start all over? And I opened up the Camel and Straw Media. She became a partner. And we shortened it over time to TheCamel.co because that domain became available. And it's the truth. It's been the greatest thing I ever did. And that's how I got the name. And as I said, thank God the cigarette company hasn't had a go, but I don't think they can after 10 years. There must be a step.
Well, I think it's pretty stuck there now. I think it's interesting, actually, we didn't realize until later, but if you do Google Shazami, in the Urban Dictionary, it has a very interesting connotation.
Is it
I'm not
naughty?
quite getting the coffee mugs made up yet, but it's
is it naughty?
Interesting. Yeah, it is.
I'm going to look it up now. After we've finished, I'm going to look it up.
Oh, right. You can look it up now if you like.
No, I'm not going to, Nicole, because I might get embarrassed and get in trouble and get banned, right?
Not again.
Got to ask her. You give me nothing but good news. Right? That's you. You're that sort of person, right? I'm the same.
Yep.
The glass is always half full.
Yep.
But there must have been some things that went wrong.
Oh, there's a lot of things that went wrong.
Give me the two major ones.
Yeah.
And what you did about it, apart from cry and have a drink.
Yeah. So the logo thing, the company name
was pretty big.
That was a big kick up the butt. And that was horrible. Just having to think that we were going to rename. Some of the challenges, clearly we started with a brand new set of technology. I'm not a technologist. No. I'm a salesperson. I'm a, talk the talk. Love coming up with great ideas and everything else, but I'm not au fait with technology. So I think the scariest part for me in this space was, are we choosing the right tech platforms?
Yeah.
We need to scale. We need to build something where we can scale at mass. We need partners on board. And in the early days, as you know, you've got no money. Oh. So you're funding this thing with sweat, blood, and tears, you know. So every dollar you spend is
a dollar.
A lot. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So we're trying to run this thing on a shoestring. We've got clients. We're trying to work out how we implement all these new technologies and the foundational pieces with the widgets that we needed. And I must say, you guys were instrumental in getting us started on this journey. Even though, today we're not working together, that may, once again, hopefully down the track.
The love's still there. The love's still there.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was instrumental in we had a lot of things that we didn't know what we were doing, to be honest. Like we needed to bundle all this these moving pieces and parts together with integrations and, you know, customizing widgets and very advanced requirements that I don't think we understood what was going to be involved. So that was a learning process. That was a bloody headache because, you know, we thought we were going down the right path, and then we needed to pivot and weave and change tact. So that was very stressful because all of a sudden you're stuck and you're treading water trying to work out, well, what are we going to do next? Are we ever going to be able to move on and get all of this working together? And that was extremely stressful times trying to get all of this, you know, working. But it's like everything. I mean, yeah, the glass is 3/4 full. And I think, I don't know why I've got that personality, but I just keep putting one foot in front of the other and, you know, hoping that I think at the end of the day, we made mistakes, but they taught us along the way, and we did make really good decisions as looking back retrospectively on this journey, and speed to market and everything, you know, was really good. But yeah, I think there was definitely sleepless nights where it was horrible and thinking, oh my God, what have we done? Are we actually going to make this work, or is it, you know, and we've come through, and now we look at it, we've got 250 instances of Shazami deployed across the globe. We've got, you know, Kelly Services, one of the world's largest recruitment agencies across the entire of Europe and the UK using Shazami, and we're fully multilingual capabilities with our websites and our job boards and everything else. And we work with startups and as well, and everyone that sits in between. So we've come out the other end. But yeah, there was a lot of stress and a lot of worry. Have we done the right thing?
So I have a tattoo, right?
Yeah.
And I don't show anybody. It's my tattoo, right? And it's on my arm up here. And the reason I got it was to remind myself that is the greatest thing I've ever done or the worst thing I've ever done. Now, it ended up being a bit of both, but it's there to remind me all the time. So with what you're telling me, you've gone through the bad things. If you had to tattoo 2 words on you that no one ever sees, you put them up there where no one looks, right? If you had to put a tattoo of 2 words that you can be, no matter when you see them, you're motivated.
Yeah.
You remember and you push forward, what would those 2 words be?
Okay. Well, I think I'd probably want one on each arm if I was going to go down that route. One would be do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Nike.
Do it. Yeah. Do it. And just, you know, and the other would be just keep smiling.
Keep smiling. That's what I love about you. You know, and it's funny, I don't think we look through rose-colored glasses. I think we're realists.
Yeah.
Right? And shit happens.
Correct.
But it's your ability, you know what Sly Stallone said, it's not how many times you get hit, it's how many times you get up.
Yeah.
But I think it's that ability to just keep getting up. Right. But we also, and I think you'd admit it, you know when to call it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I try. Yeah, I try. You know, I think it's all of us in business. We sort of hang on hoping we can, you know, make things work or things will change. But I think sometimes you've got to step back and you've got to make the hard calls early because it'll stop, you know, it'll stop you on the wrong trajectory and hopefully, you know, make things better. You've got to duck and weave. And I think once again, COVID's taught us that, you know, you need to be able to swivel.
Okay, so last question. Future. What are you going to do with Shazami the next 2 years?
Massive growth plans for Shazami. We want to take 250 clients to a stack more than that. We really want to build Shazami with both the website technology and other affiliated technology that is perfectly coupled with what we do and build this into a $100 million business. Yep. And, you know, that's what we're shooting for. And whether that's 3 to 5 years that we sell or we're bought out, or that's what we're aiming for. That's the goal.
And what would Nicole do if 2 years from now you got the big buyout? What's Nicole's exit plan?
Yeah, do you know, it's actually, I'll always work. I love work.
Yeah,
I'll always, yeah, my mother is a great inspiration. You talk about the antique shop, you know, they're still running an antique shop.
I'm jealous of some of that furniture, I'll tell you.
I know, it's good. It's direct from France. It's very good. I will still work. I'll still innovate. I will create businesses. I'll need to, because that's actually my enjoyment.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah,
you know, I'm the same. People say, "What are you going to do one day?" I don't think I'd sell the Camel, right?
Yep.
But I'd love to do this sort of stuff full time. I'd love to speak again because I was a speaker, and I'd love to speak all over, and I'd love to write a book.
Yeah.
Right, I just would. But the other side of me would love to start up something new as well. You know, I can't help myself. I think that's us. That's our Draga choice. You know, there's no AA for entrepreneurs.
No,
that's just the way we are. And I'm 63, and I'm now in the prime of my life of doing things again and again and again. And I think that's an amazing part about life. Nicole, we're done.
Good.
And despite all the ups and downs and hiccups, this was an absolute pleasure. Love. I really enjoyed it. You're fun, you're exciting, but you're a powerful woman. And I love doing business with people like you. And I know that not just recruitment people, but a lot of other people out there are going to be inspired about what you've got to say. So, thank you.
Thank you, Shane. It's been great fun.
Kiss. All right, love.
See ya.
Talk to you soon, Dar. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Hey everybody, it's Shane from TheCamel.co, and I'm here with Jeffrey, and I just want to put a quick word out. Do you know that this video is one of hundreds of videos that are available on the Camel channel? And what are the videos? There's videos on how to sell, there's videos on how to market, there's videos on how to make something. We do a great curry. You name it, we got videos about it, and we've also got a lot of videos about the special offers that the Camel has. So it's not just this thing that you're seeing now, it's a lot of information, a lot of services. You want to know more? Just click on the subscribe button. That way you don't have to search, it automatically comes to your inbox. You do that, have a great day. From me, Jeffrey, talk to you soon. See ya.